and welcome to this episode of Physics for Show. I'm Rita Roy, and we will be discussing the moon. Although the moon is just a small nugget in our solar system, it's actually our closest celestial neighbor. Howdy, neighbor! The moon is Earth's only natural satellite. A natural satellite is a space body that orbits a planet. It is the fifth largest moon in our solar system. Sometimes when you see drawings of the Earth and the moon, they look very close together. Don't be fooled. The moon is actually really far away. It is 238,855 miles away. In this episode, you're going to learn more about the moon as our team of stagecrafters builds a moon box for a Boston Opera production. So buckle up for a ride into some really fantastic physics facts. Try saying that 10 times fast. Fantastic physics facts, fantastic physics facts, fantastic physics facts. Phew.
Rita, we need you in the shop. Roki is mooning me.
Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Roki, it's not that kind of moon.
Hello, my name is Alice Ward, and this is Small Science, and today I'm talking about force. In physics, a force is an interaction that changes the motion of the affected object. A force is always a push, pull, or twist, or by changing the motion or changing the shape in some other way. A force causes an object with mass to change its velocity. It accelerates or it decelerates depending on the force. Like how I can move and stop this wooden block. There's a way to draw this by using a free body diagram. This square represents my wooden block. Now I want to add vectors to my drawing that stands for forces. Vector is a fancy physics way to say arrow. I will draw an arrow for the push I did on the block. What else do we draw? How about the force of gravity? That's a vector going down. Since it's not moving, it must have an equal and opposite force acting on it. That sounds normal, right? Let's draw it here and call it the normal force. I had so much fun drawing forces, I could do this all day. But that's all for now.
What are the types of forces? There's the applied force. This is the push force. Then there's the tension force. This is the pull force. The normal force. This force keeps objects from falling into the Earth's crust, for example, a table or the ground. The frictional force. This force slows objects down due to surface interactions. The air resistance force. This force is felt as pressure from the air. The spring force. This is a force which resets an object after being displaced by an applied force. And my most favorite, the gravitational force, or the force of gravity.
Gravity is a natural phenomenon by which all objects are attracted to one another. We can test this theory by simply holding up an object and letting it go. Does it float up? Does it drift to the side? Or does it fall down? We are held onto Earth's surface because of its gravity, but how this works is still largely unknown.
The moon's mass is 1.2% of Earth's mass, or 1/80th, so the moon's gravity is much less than the Earth's gravity, 83.3%, or 5/6 to be exact. And even though it appears to change shape, the moon stays the same size.
Hey Rookie, have you ever wondered why the moon appears to change shape every night?
This happens because it's orbiting around the Earth.
The moon orbits around the Earth just like the Earth orbits around the sun. As it moves around the Earth, the moon's position in relation to the sun changes. This affects how much the sun's light hits the moon. The moon has phases that depend on how much light it receives from the sun. We're able to see the moon best at night because it is reflecting the sun's light.
When we talk about the phases of the moon, we use the terms waxing and waning.
Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax
Not
off.
that kind of waxing.
Waxing meaning the terms growing?
Yes. When it's waxing, the moon appears to increase in size.
And waning means the term shrinking, right?
Right. When the moon is waning, it appears to decrease in size.
It takes the moon about 29.5 days to complete one cycle. One cycle is one orbit around the Earth, and during that time, the amount of the moon that we see from Earth changes.
Wow! Oh! Rita, this is incredible! These are the phases of the moon!
Although it looks different every night, there are 8 major phases that we recognize. Most might just look like some form of crescent, and on a new moon, you can't see any of the moon at all. It's all in shadow.
You mean the moon is up there in the sky and we can't see it? Mind blown!
That's right. The moon does not naturally glow. It merely reflects light, like a giant mirror ball in the sky.
That's it. Oh, that's an easy one. Gryffindor.
Now that you know more about forces and the phases of the moon, I'd like to sum up the forces that are acting on our moon. First, I will draw a circle to represent the Earth. Now I will draw a smaller circle to represent the moon. And now I will put the force of gravity that is acting on the moon because of the Earth using a vector. And I will label it the force with a sub G for gravity. And now I will draw the moon in a few common locations, like this, and this. Now since the moon is moving, I will add in its tangential applied force due to its motion. Here we have it going in a clockwise orbit. This is the applied force. And now I will draw the outward centrifugal acceleration due to the shape of its orbit. You might be asking yourself, what force acted on the moon to set it into motion? If all objects in the universe are in motion, who or what force originally acted on them? Better not tell you now. This question is still being researched by scientists to this day. You can enter your early universe hypothesis in the comment section of this video. So now you know more about the moon. Let's go see how the Moonbox project is going.
This Moonbox was made by our team for the Boston Lyric Opera's production of Schoenberg in Hollywood. It is made of plywood and stands 7 feet 5 inches tall.
A moonbox is a shape, usually a circle or a crescent, that hangs up in the theater's rafters and comes down to signify when a scene is taking place at night. When the scene takes place at day, the moonbox goes back up and disappears into the grid of the theater. So what we're making here is a moonbox that's 7 feet 4 inches in diameter, and it's going to be backlit, so it will be illuminated while it hangs above the actors on the set.
It features a rear projection screen covering over the wooden ring structure, which is designed to be illuminated from the inside using LED strips. I know I told you earlier that the moon does not naturally glow, but here, with the help of some stage electricians, Boston Lyric Opera can have a glowing moon for each performance.
As you can see here, the moonbox is finished. It has its backing attached. It's face down right now on the craft paper, and it's also got its rigging eye bolts in. I'm here with the actual moon. It's right over my shoulder. There's the moon after I just finished building our moon inside. So just wanted to say goodnight. Good night, moon.
Its purpose as a special effect is to give a beautiful image of a nightscape for theatrical ambiance. It can usually be paired with a star backdrop for a real stellar look. Schoenberg in Hollywood's reviews are in. Ingenuously original music, said the Wall Street Journal. A groundbreaking new multimedia opera brilliantly depicts Arnold Schoenberg's life, said the Boston Musical Intelligencer. Technologically advanced, stunning, and quite clever, says Boston and Beyond. Arguably the finest creative team ever assembled on a Boston stage, said the South Shore Critic.
Hey, what do you mean nobody saw the moon?
The crew didn't like how the LED light looked on stage.
So nobody saw the moon that my team slaved over?
Nope.
My crew, our precious time wasted.
I do have some comp tickets though to a show next week. It's called The Handmaid's Tale, if that would make you feel any better.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, sometimes this happens. A scenic element will get cut from a show just before opening night. You'd think with all the forces at work in space that the moon would be very hard to displace. Well, maybe we could just call it a new moon. Anyway, I love free tickets, so what can you do? Did you like this episode? Do you want to see more content like this? Please consider sponsoring Physics for Show so we can create our next full season of episodes. Donations can be made via PayPal to physicsforshow@gmail.com or check out our Kickstarter campaign. All our links are in the description below. Backers can even sponsor specific topics that interest them. Together, we can explore great marvels being engineered on stages here at home and all over the world.